Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? My name is Kyle, you know me as Dragonmar, and welcome to a new video. Today guys, we'll be doing a Silver 2 VOD review of our Omen friend here, Arcane, and he's coming at us with a very specific question. He's asking, why do I always bottom frag so badly? And I think this is a really interesting question because I get this a lot, and I think a lot of people run into this problem where they see themselves on the bottom of the scoreboard, but maybe that doesn't always reflect their actual contribution to the team or to the game. So we got to figure out a way to sort of dispel the myth that, kills are everything. But at the same time, maybe we can look for some things here in this gameplay that can help sort of show us what's going on and maybe why the kills are lacking, and if that's something that we should solve and try to fix, or if the playstyle is actually fine and the kills aren't necessarily the most important thing going on. So taking a look here, we're about halfway into this round. Spike going down onto the A site. Flash was a little bit late. I probably don't see the need there for that flash after Sage has already killed the guy. If you're going to flash, you want to do it a little more preemptively. Last player is here in U-Haul. And there is the first round. So nothing really there on the first round that would cause me any problems. Let's move into the next one. All right, moving into round 2 here. Throwing the one way on short, obviously very common. Now, one thing I will say, if we look at the team comps, we're running double smoke. Yeah, we definitely want to avoid that, Arcane, if possible. I did run a double smoke comp. I think we lost it. It's just not really worth it, right? I don't know. I don't think that either Omen or Brim bring something so special to the table that having both of them is a benefit. Generally, you're running one of them just for the smokes. But nonetheless, you're going to go for a re-smoke. Now, this Paranoia actually ends up being very nice. That was a nice kill onto the Phoenix. Now, he flashed through his wall. I don't know if you knew he was going to do that or if you were just hoping he would. Either way, great timing on the Paranoia. I think right now what we're seeing is definitely some more passive defensive play from you. You're not pushing in. You're not pushing down short or anything. If you look at the mini-map, your teammates are, right? See your Phoenix pushing down there. So definitely a more passive play style. I believe, yeah, I think that guy walked all the way from B. Took a lot of damage there. Actually, if I rewind this, did you even get a shot off on him? Okay, interesting. A little slow to react there. A little bit slow. So that's something we want to pay attention to. Moving forward as well, obviously reaction time very important for a game like Valorant. Also, not sure what you're looking at. You're kind of looking up there at heaven, even though the guy is fighting in U-Haul, but nonetheless your team will clean up. All right, so now we're moving into round 3. This is our first gun round. We've got the Vandal going for a one-way once again, and we're hanging out here on site. Now, when we think about frags and when we think about the scoreboard and maybe you're bottom fragging every game, we have to remember the roles we're in, right? So when we're looking at an Omen, we're really looking for utility usage first. Are the smokes going down in the right spots? If they are, great. If not, that's something we want to work on. But in this situation here, Phoenix flashes through once again. This time, nothing to cover the flash for you. Instantly blinded and killed. This is a situation where we've got to learn how to turn away from flashes right there. There's no reason you want to stare into that flash and just get full blinded for nothing. All right, moving into the next round though, and as I was talking about roles, right? And when you play a support agent like Omen, your job is not necessarily to be on the top of the leaderboard. So first of all, let's make sure we have our sort of understanding of the roles right. Who should top frag in a game? It's going to be your duelist, right? Middle fragging, probably a support, probably a controller or an initiator. Bottom fragging, most likely sentinels. Just based off of my experience and roughly. Now, you will see games where sentinels and controllers initiators are top frag, but realistically your top frag spot should be held by your duelist almost always. After that, it's really a crapshoot whoever gets it next. Second, third, fourth frag can really vary depending on how your team uses certain playstyles. Oh, right here though, this is interesting. So we've got players spotted outside of smoke, but you don't make any movement to go try to push through the smoke. Oh no. All right, so I think this is one of our first mistakes of the game. Now, you have a teammate here. If we take a look at this, right, we have the Sage. So Sage spots 2 players. You don't make any attempt to trade with her. You come around the corner here. Yeah, and you just rush your shots. That is a really good example of rushing shots right there. You say, I don't know. I don't have any idea what you're doing there either, honestly. Yeah, we've got to take our time on those shots. That is a free kill, if not at least 2. I'm not saying you win that round, but yeah, you definitely want to come out of there with at least 1 kill. All right, moving into round 5. So that was our first real misplay of the game, and I don't know if it was a costly one just because it was a 1v3. Like I said, I think the max you're going to get there is 2, unless you can pick up a gun somehow and you're able to hide from the 3rd guy after killing 2. That would be really tough. But moving forward here, you're going to smoke off hookah. So both smokes used. Not ideal, but because you do have a brimstone, it's actually kind of okay to use your smokes a little more aggressively. And like, for example, right now you don't have a smoke available, but your brim has smokes, right? So you could technically just ask for his smokes here as well. So you're making a good comm here, right? You're trying to get info from your team. If they push out, tell me when. A decent play, but the problem here, I'm going to rewind this because I want everyone to see this. The problem here, take a look where Reyna is playing. Reyna is playing in cubby. She's not peeking. She has no vision. You can see that little vision cone. Nothing. Yep, raises on sight. There was no call out there. That is not necessarily something I would blame you for as much as I would blame the Reyna, but you still need to be aware of where your teammates are. You need to be aware of where your teammates are because your Reyna technically wasn't guarding anything for you. And after that Raze ulted, you probably should have heard her drop down as well. All right, so now we're down. We're starting to lose here. Round 6, it's currently 2-3. You're going for a Bucky here in Octagon. This is a spot I find myself playing a lot. Now, I don't really push too often down here. I have made some very nice plays pushing, but I do like to kind of hang out here, exactly where you're at. I think this is a great spot for Omen. A lot of really close quarters combat, and if you need to, you can TP, flash, smoke. You know, you got everything here, right? There's a lot of good play potential, but looks like you're just going to hang out as the enemy team attacks onto A site. Obviously, Bucky is probably one of the worst weapons for a retake. I honestly can't think of something I'd want to have less than this. It's just so reliant on ranged fights. So if you are going to buy a Bucky, just remember you are putting all your eggs kind of in one basket, as they say. One thing I would suggest to you, Arcane, is to maybe try learning the Stinger a bit more. The Stinger is quickly becoming one of the best weapons in the game in terms of eco value and just frag potential on any round. It is just ridiculous what that weapon can do there. But team ends up winning this round nonetheless. But yeah, I'd be very careful about your Bucky buys. And another thing I want to point out there, actually, just regarding Bucky buys, is when we're looking at why we are not getting a lot of kills, if you're often outranging yourself with shotguns, that is sometimes a reason why you're not fragging. Sometimes we end up getting in situations where we'll actually make a really nice positioning play, but we won't be able to get the kill because we're outranged with our weaponry. And a lot of times we have a judge or a Bucky or something. I want to rewind this just to check these shots again. I think this was really interesting here. Just watching you come around the corner there, you actually flick too far to the right. Your first shots miss, and unfortunately, that's all that Phoenix needed. He hits you 4 times, you hit him 3 times. Right there, your aim is letting you down. You really got to make sure those first shots hit. And oh my gosh, what is that Reyna doing? All right, so a little bit over halfway through the first half of this game. Looking at the frags right now, I think we've either got like 1 or 2. So really not having that much impact in these rounds. Another thing I want to say is we should definitely be looking for smokes here and there. Looks like this round you're choosing not to smoke long. But holding on to your smokes too late into the round will sometimes just completely deplete their value. I always try to get one out, at least in the first 10-15 seconds. Because like I said, you do have a brimstone, but you really don't want him to use his smokes if he doesn't have to. I think you can get a lot more value because your smokes do replenish. Now, your team has fully committed over to A, and you're actually going to get aggressive here. This is pretty aggressive. You're kind of going for one of those lurk flanks, going around the edge of the map here, prowling, looking for a kill. Player spotted in market as well as short. There's another player right here. I would try to communicate with your Reyna to back off, but fortunately he is going to push in and die. Now here's where you should make a play. Right here, I would be walking either behind them or up here. I highly doubt that either of these players are going to expect you to be in this position. But as you can see, you're playing a little bit passive. You're playing a little bit slow. Maybe even a little smart, some people would say. But sometimes you can overthink things. Playing too smart ends up being means you're playing too defensively. And I think right here, part of what we're seeing from your playstyle has been a bit too defensive in certain rounds. Also, right there, we've just got to avoid that. I mean, there's no excuse for that one. You know, as an Omen, we do have Shrouded Step. We can just quickly Shrouded Step over obstacles or past tripwires. So that's something we can't afford. But one thing I want to note here, you get this first kill. you spot, this player is spotted here. Everybody see that on the map. The player is spotted. You've got to know that, right? You kind of start moving away. You didn't have time to do that. You've got to hold that angle and just take that fight because you know he's right next to you. Either you instantly get the kill and you run away, or you hold and you let him come into you. You kind of, your decision making wasn't quick enough is what I'm trying to get at. All right, moving in to round 9. So, as you guys might have heard Arcane saying to the mic there, that was his second kill of the game. And we're on round 9 now. So, definitely not having the impact I'm sure he wanted. Does, I think, maybe get an assist there off of a headshot. Doubling up here long. Pushing in with the Phoenix. This is smart, right? Your Phoenix is ulting. You want to follow that in. I personally would go around here. Yep, I think that's the smart play, is to go around. Oh, gonna come back actually and kind of group up. So here you want to cut this guy off, right? You want this round to end. Don't let this guy get away. Someone should be going behind. Looks like your Phoenix actually will do it. All right. You're kind of turning around in the middle of the battle, but hey, you guys do get a flawless there on round 9. So now we're getting sort of late into the first half, and I want to start talking about a concept that I like to call high impact plays, right? This is something I talk a lot about in coaching, high impact plays. It's essentially, are you putting yourself in a position to actually have an impact on the rounds? Are you playing a spot on the map that is highly contested? Are you getting first bloods? Are you using abilities in a way that actually either, you know, impacts the enemies or positively impacts your teammates, right? High impact plays. Have we really seen that so far from Arcane? I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen a single high impact play in this entire game. And I think that, you know, that is something that does concern me, because if we're about 10 rounds in and we've got no first bloods, we've got no real, like, aggressive, you know, well strategized plays, you know, we've got to rethink maybe part of our play style, right? Because if you're not having, if you find yourself bottom fragging, a lot of the times it's because you are not putting yourself in a position to even make a good play in the first place. And I think we're seeing that during this gameplay. All right, moving into round 11 here. Once again, playing long B. So we've seen this a lot so far. Pretty much the last, I think, what, like 8 rounds or something have all been long B. Teammates getting aggressive. You know, you're not in a position to help. Falling back here, actually pretty smart. I'm not sure if you were playing around Brim ult, but that was really good. Get out of that. Give it up. That's fine. Right here, I would definitely reposition onto site. Your teammate has control of hookah. Whenever your teammate has control of hookah, you just get back onto site and try to hold a slightly more aggressive angle here, since you don't have to worry about hookah at all. Elbow gets smoked off a lot, which is why I say that, because elbow is so often smoked that it's like you get so little value there, yet people play there all the time. Your Phoenix does a nice job getting the, oh my gosh, actually gets a 4K on the round, and that was the position you were playing. So that was a chance for you maybe to get some shots there. You end up repositioning, backing up, and the more aggressive Phoenix cleans them up. And just like that, we're on to the final round of the first half. I believe at this point you still have 2 kills. Your team is winning 8-3. I think that part of this can be attributed to the fact that your team, first of all, is playing very well, but you're also playing a position where maybe you haven't had the most chances to make plays. And this is something that gets a lot of people in trouble. They think that they're playing bad, when in reality, they're playing in a spot where nobody is coming. How are you going to get kills if no one comes to where you play? Yeah, exactly. Right. And honestly, this is something people truly think. Like, I'm not just saying this as, you know, I mean this. Like, oh, wow, what am I watching? Anyways, it worked in the end. If you are playing in a position, guys, if you find yourself, I'm just going to actually skip through this really quick, get to the next half here for us, but I'm going to keep talking. If you guys find yourself getting low frags, think about where you're playing on the map and how many times people are actually coming there. Are you playing a spot where you see people? Or are you waiting for contact, right? How are you actually playing your position? There's a lot of ways to play positions. You can play aggressively, you can play passively, you can play high ground, low ground, you can play around smokes, around flashes, you can play off teammates, you can play crossfires. There's so many different ways to play every position in the game on every map. but depending on how you play them, you're going to put yourself into either better or worse positions to get kills. I think that the way Arcane is playing his positions is very passive, it's very slow, and it's just not resulting in any situations where he has a chance to get an impact on the round, where he has a chance to get a kill during these rounds. All right, so we are 13, now going on 14 rounds into the game. Arcane has 2 kills, and his team is winning 8-5. This is a really tough showing so far. And I think it's tough for a few reasons. The first thing, like I've been talking about, very passive play. Second of all, missing shots. There is absolutely no denying it. Arcane has missed some pretty easy shots. And then shots that, you know, maybe aren't the easiest, but you definitely would expect him to win, right? And that's a real bummer, because I really think that's contributing to the very low amount of kills, right? 2 kills in 14 rounds. There have been, even on like rounds that are lost, you can still get kills on those rounds, right? Not obviously they're not important, they have no impact, but you know, you hurt the economy a little bit. You give your little boost to the old ego, which is important. But yeah, 2 kills right now is just definitely low. I think one of my suggestions for Arcane definitely would be working on your flicks. One of your problems seems to be your first shot accuracy, just in terms of you aren't actually landing your first shot ever. And because of that, you have to adjust even with the classic right click, which is really surprising, because that generally is something that most people can hit even if they have otherwise bad aim, but you're also struggling with that. So really, I think it's time to get back into the old aim lab or Kovacs, or jump into some DM and really work on those flicks, because right now I'm seeing at least 3 or 4 missed kills just off of the flicks alone. But right here, we're repositioning. I love this spot, by the way. This is a great spot Arcane is at. He's on top of this little box here, sort of by U-Haul. Gives full vision into heaven. You can see like chest up on every player, and they can only see your head. It is a very strong position to play in. All right, moving into round 16 here. Now, one thing I will say, though, Arcane definitely, oh my gosh, does get the kill onto the Euro. Excuse me, onto the Yoru. Oh my god, I just called him Euro. Onto the Yoru, but a little delayed, actually. I don't know if you noticed that, but as he came around that corner, you were so ready to shoot the camera, you weren't actually ready to shoot Yoru. So, you know, right there, a little fortunate to get the kill, but you are getting healed up. Last player called flank. So there, you know, 3rd kill of the game, but man, we're 16 rounds in. The nice job securing the kill in the end, but like I always talk about, first shot accuracy definitely letting you down. All right, 11-5. Trying to pick up that 12th round here, put it on match point, but we're on round 17 and we have 3 kills. So good flash for the team there. I like that a lot. Now instantly going into smokes. Phoenix is up close. You gotta get out of your smoke. Okay, definitely a misplay here. Definitely a misplay. Once again, staring into the flash and then into the sky. Let's watch this back. I want to explain this to everybody. Flash for your teammate. Good. Smoke. Good. Wait. Hold. Teammate dead. Teammate is dead. You got to pay attention. You're in the minimap. You should know this. Phoenix can push you. You do not stay inside of your smoke. You have to play for the Phoenix. Watch this. Boom. That he would have been dead. You would have killed him. And then this. You got to turn. You've got to turn. You cannot stare at flashes. Look how much time he gives you to kill him there as well. Look how much time you had there. That was a free kill. All right, so you guys do lose that round, going down 11-6 here. Looks like you're a little far away from the team here. Not quite sure what happened. First smoke. Oh, man, I'm not really sure if that landed properly, but you do smoke off heaven. Obviously, heaven pretty important. Pretty important to smoke off, even with smokes down on site. You don't want people looking down on you from above. You're gonna clear out showers. Once again, though, a little bit late overall in your clearing. As you can see, your team was fully on site. You know, looking at everything, planting the spike even before you got up showers there. Just want to work on the timing a bit. But 3v3 here. Sage definitely cannot res. I'm not sure what that call is. It's not safe. Going for the resmoke. Okay, another misplay. Another misplay. I think as your Sage is running out fighting, I think you want to swing that with your teammate and help him. Would have the free kill pretty much onto that Phoenix ult. Nonetheless, though, 2v2 here. All right, you heard him drop, so that's actually not a bad teleport. I like the idea there, but You kind of TP into the open. If that guy was able to see where you were after the TP, yeah, it could have been bad. And moving into match point here, 12-6, round 19. Once again, going for the smokes. Teammates are in. As you can see, you are the last person in the site. Actually, you're turning around completely. All right, and the Phoenix will go down in the end. So, let's pause here on the scoreboard, and let's talk about this game. All right, so I'm going to pull up the scoreboard here. And once again, Arcane, thank you for submitting this VOD, and hopefully I'll have some good answers here for you. So after watching this, right, we can see a game where a team won 13-6 and a player got 4 kills. So what happened? First and foremost, like I talk about, high impact plays, high impact frags, first, second frags of the rounds, first bloods, opening kills onto sites, things like that. You know, the first kill on an execute when a team is attacking you, things like that. We saw none of that. And I think part of the problem is positioning. Whenever I hear someone asking, why am I bottom fragging? Why can't I get kills in my game? A lot of times it comes down to positioning. So let's talk about defense, since we saw more defensive rounds. What do we see? Playing the same spot every round. If you're not getting kills in that spot, maybe you could try playing in a different position, right? That's the first thing I always think of. But what else did we see in that position? Well, you were smoking off your vision a lot. Now, I agree. Smoking off vision is very, very strong, but you are going to limit the amount of people coming your way. No one wants to walk through a smoke. Who wants to walk through a smoke? So you have to remember, Arcane, your smokes are a double-edged sword. At one side of things, you are going to block off and deny vision and stop people from pushing. But part of that is that you're going to have less kills because of it. People are not going to come to you as easily. So you have to remember that is part of playing a support agent, is that your utility is going to deny the position that may have gotten you a kill. But next, I want to talk about your playstyle. You seem to play Omen pretty passively. You're definitely looking to set up teammates, which is great. Saw that on attack. But I think your passive playstyle is really getting in the way of any ability to get frags. Now, like I was talking about, we saw your defensive positioning, right? Kind of the same spot, playing slow, playing around smokes. On attack, your positioning, you're like the last person in to every fight. Always. I mean, you always were. We didn't see that many rounds, but you were the last person in pretty much every round. Your teammates had fully cleared sight. You were just coming out of showers. Your teammates were already up short. You were still behind them holding smokes or turning around looking for a flanker. You just weren't involved in the plays. And I think, like I talk about, you are not going to have frags if you are not trying to make those high impact plays, if you're not looking for those opening kills, if you're not right there to trade out your teammates, and you're just not in the position to do it. So I think that is a big thing we're looking at here, is not just positioning, but also play style. It's, you can put yourself into a spot, but if your play style doesn't, you know, sort of have that cohesion, right, with the position you're in, you're not going to get any value out of it, right? You could play a spot that's great for a Phoenix flash, but if you're rocking Omen, you might not have the same value in that position, right? So I think what you got to really reconsider here is if you're playing in the right spots for how you play the game. Just because a spot is good doesn't mean it's good for you. And I think that's really important to remember. Next, we've got to look for high impact plays. We cannot just be a smoke bot. And I think right now in this game, that's all you were. You were just smoking for your team. You really didn't do much else. That's something we need to figure out. So putting yourself more in the front line, trying to be the second or third person in, making sure you're with your team on attacks is also very important. But one thing I do want to say is do not worry about not having kills on defense if the enemy team doesn't come to your site. I think that's, you know, pretty obviously not in your control. Don't even worry about that, right? A lot of people are going to look at this game and going to say, hey, Arcane, you did nothing, right? You're garbage, you're trash. No, I don't think so, right? Your smokes are a very valuable asset. You denied vision. You stopped people from pushing up long multiple rounds. I'm sure they didn't even want to deal with it. That's why they didn't come to your site, probably. That's why you didn't get many kills. But we do have to talk about your aim, right? I think that is something that's going to hold you back. I definitely noticed multiple rounds where your first shot accuracy was off, your spray was off, and not hitting headshots, right? And that is the perfect combination of what happens to maybe a more support or low frag player and really just push him at the bottom of the barrel, like sub 5 kills. You had the perfect combination in this game. You had the passive play, the passive positions, playing behind smokes, and then missing all of your shots. That is why you're bottom fragging. If you want to not bottom frag, you're going to have to put yourself in a position to get more kills, to be more involved in your team's play, and you gotta hit those crucial shots. And guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take it easy and peace.